What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome to a video on timed finishing. Lots of confusion around time finishing. Some people don't understand how to use it or when to use it or if you should use it. Some people don't understand how you turn on and off the setting in game. And basically I'm here to explain to you with some examples first and then going live to talk about it a bit deeper how it works. So you can see with this shot with Luka Modric, fantastic goal. You basically need to power up your shot first and then time the shot as the player connects with the shot. You really don't need the meter above the head to see it. Like you see there again, I hit a shot there. As long as the shot is timed as you strike the ball, the closer to you striking the ball, the better the timed shot will be. So you can see here again, I hit the ball quite clean there. Obviously, Modric is leaning back. The ball's not coming at him with pace. He's far out. He doesn't connect with it immaculately, and thus he doesn't score. But Gareth Bale here, phenomenal overhead kick, just goes over the bar. So some things to note about time finishing is it does not guarantee a goal when you shoot. It just increases your chances and your accuracy and your power when you get the time finishing correctly. So there are many instances, and you can see here I mistimed this one on purpose just so you could see how bad it was. And you can see here I pressed the second button about now. So about 1.5 meters before the ball got to Gareth Bale's foot, it was too early and we missed it. But yeah, you don't need to use time finishing. There's two things about time finishing. Number one is if you are late on the timed finish, it will essentially just count as a regular shot. So being late is better than being early. If you are early on a time finish, you will skew it in terms of, like I'm showing some right here. I've missed these ones on purpose again. Some of them maybe not on purpose, but I've taken a few of these and just hit them early. Like you just hit the ball into the ground. You hit it quite weakly. Just generally just doesn't really do great. And then here's one where I've hit the ball nice and cleanly there. I actually hit that one late, Hit that one late and it flew into the back of the net. So time finishing can be super useful. A lot of people are saying, why use it? Ultimately, you don't even have to use it. A, you can turn it off. Or B, you can just not use it. You could just press shoot and then not press shoot again afterwards. So if you just power up a shot and then boom, that's that job done. The reason why time finishing is useful is because you can hit bangers with it. Especially if you've already got players that have really high finishing, really high volleys, really high composure, putting time finishing on those guys is going to make their shots even more powerful, even more accurate, and just be an absolute godsend. So I would say in terms of when to use time finishing, for headers and volleys, for crosses, fantastic, and for when you're running onto a ball. And I'm going to show you a goal that I scored with Dybala right here, which is a perfect example of running onto the ball. I don't necessarily recommend you use it in the box unless it's an example about what you're about to see here. I cut in with Costa, we get into the box, we cut across, Khedira into Matuidi, and then boom, Dybala hits a nice, just fizzes that one into the top corner. And I basically powered that up, waited till it got to his foot, and then hit it. So if you're dribbling with the ball at a player's foot, you don't really have the time to do a timed finish because by the time you press shoot the first time, they already have the ball, so they just shoot, right? So when you're in the box with the ball, when you're one-on-one with the goalkeeper, time finishing is probably going to be largely irrelevant and useless. But for headers and volleys, for crosses, for running onto a ball to shoot, time finishing is going to be so good, so strong, and it's just going to give you an edge. It's going to make a skill gap that previously wouldn't have been there. And it's not to say that you wouldn't score some of the goals if you didn't use time finishing. Like, I don't think I would have scored that shot there with Heung-min Son if I didn't use time finishing. But that Dybala shot, for example, I probably would have been able to score without time finishing. I could have just taken it in, then done a finesse shot around the goalkeeper. I probably would have scored. And there's a goal here coming up before we go live from Harry Kane, where it's a header. I perfectly timed the finish. He heads the ball into the back of the net. And I think that might have still gone in had I not timed the finish. So here we go. We've got the ball here down the right-hand side. We get the ball with Dele Alli. He scoops inside, accelerates past the Dortmund defenders. We cross this to the front post. Harry Kane gets that header across the face of the goalkeeper and in. Now, if I didn't time that finish, does the keeper save it? Does it go wide? Does it go over? Who knows? Maybe the time finish worked. Maybe it didn't. But time finishing definitely can be useful. We're going to go live now, guys, and talk about it a little more. All right, guys, before we actually go into just a brief bit of gameplay, I'm not going to keep you here for ages. I want to read off some tweets from Corey, obviously the EA Sports Global Community Manager. He's got a lot of stuff in his tweets that's super important, mostly regarding time shooting. The first thing I want to read off is a tweet about people thinking that button delay and input delay is going to have an impact in time shooting, and it's already ruined, because I've seen that around a lot. And Corey says regarding that, he says, regarding time shooting and the power bar, it's calculated offline and based on what you see on the screen. So it will not impact online matches with inputs. So straight off the bat, I mean, the proof of that one will be in the pudding, but it seems that EA have considered that, and that is something that has been taken and isn't even an issue. You know, I did genuinely see a lot of people say, hey man, what's even the point of time finishing? Button delay is going to cause me to screw up. Well, it doesn't actually seem like that's going to be too much of an issue or an issue at all. So as I say, proof will be in the pudding on that one. The other thing is that some people are asking for just seeing the time finishing bar on the trainer. You can absolutely do that if you set the status to show, the mode to movement and mechanics, and then just turn the pass receiver and the shot elevation off. It will leave the time finishing bar indicator on. I personally don't want to, nor do I need to use it, because I don't want the trainer on in the first place. So I don't think, do I have the trainer on? I do have the trainer. Do I have the trainer on now? How do we turn it off? Damn, how do I turn it? I just don't want the trainer on. The other thing that I wanted to talk about with time finishing is that you can switch it off. You can literally turn it off. If you just don't ever want to use it and ever for it to be an issue. I know a lot of you guys have the muscle memory of low-driven shots being the double tap of circle. So if you think that that's just going to be something that you do by mistake and ruin a lot of your shooting, just turn it off, no problem at all. Obviously, it is there for a skill gap, which we'll get into in a second as well. You can also turn off a couple of other things, but this is only for time finishing. So I'm going to hide the trainer. I'm obviously going to have time finishing on. And then the next thing that Corey mentions is about the way you shoot. So he says, one added note regarding time shooting, a late timed shot, which is a white indicator, a white arrow above the head, will be the same as a regular shot since the ball has already been kicked and we can't modify trajectory. So obviously that, you know, if you late time shots, which we talked about earlier on in the video, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Somebody said, why do you say that time shooting shouldn't be turned off? What's the benefit of mastering it? And Corey replies with better accuracy percentages and scoring opportunities. Perfect timing gives you that. Those who turn it off won't get that added benefit. And it was also talked about it being a skill gap. With that in mind, Corey says time shooting was implemented to increase the skill gap in FIFA. I'll preface this by saying it's totally optional and can be turned off in the settings. So basically, he answers everyone's questions with that. You know, I think EA and Corey in general want people to feel like time shooting is actually going to benefit people that master it. There is more ways than one to master it. And we're just going to spend, like I say, a couple of minutes here. I want to show you the difference between like what a time shot looks like. So there you go. I hit that one late because it had the white arrow above the head. And I want to show you why it's not going to be beneficial for you to have time shooting in the box, basically. Why having, you know, going through one-on-one with a player and then trying to time shoot is actually going to be ineffective. So let's get the ball up to one of our attackers here. We're going to switch this one into Cavani. We've got, is that Mbappe running through? It doesn't matter. We can just run through with Cavani. So at this point here, I just need to shoot. You know, if I timed shoot, like, so I just did a low driven there, which is obviously now L1, R1 and circle. If I were to time shoot there, which I'll go and do a time shot in just a second. Let's get the ball back and I'll go and do a time shot. But if I did a time shot right there, the problem that we would have would be that I don't have enough time to actually power up the shot. So the simple fact will be is that I will basically either mistime the shot because I don't have enough time to power it up, otherwise it'll be like too early, or I'm going to have an issue whereby the shot is just going to be a late shot. So we get into this point here with Mbappe. By the time I power it up and then shoot again, I mean, I actually did get a time shot off there, but like, I only got a time shot off because I really quickly tapped it. More often than not, when you're in that instance in the box, you're going to be late with the time shot, so you might as well just do a regular shot. That was actually a really clean finish from Mbappe as well. But I'm going to show you guys now a couple of times where you do want to use time shooting. Of course, I'm playing against like low AI backline, so it's kind of irrelevant. But in this instance here, where we get the ball behind, this is where you want to do time shooting, and that was only an orange bar. So obviously the red bar is just a terribly timed shot. The orange bar is like a bad time shot. The green bar, or like, you know, it goes up in a kind of a category: red to orange to yellow to light green to dark green. And the darker the green that you get it, or the greener you get it, the better it is. And it comes down to a point where if you need the timed finishing bar above the head of the player, I think you're going to actually struggle to use timed finishing. I think the best thing for people to do would be to master it off here. So I've already powered up my shot, and that was also a yellow shot. But you could see in the bottom left-hand corner there, and rewind it 5 seconds if you didn't, I'd already powered up by now how much power I wanted to put on the shot, and then I tried to time it as the ball fell to his foot and he volleyed it. Of course, if I didn't press it again, and we'll show that on this occasion, if I didn't press it again, he would have just shot it as if it was a normal shot. Now, I don't necessarily know, because I haven't really practiced with it all that much, but I don't necessarily know if that means... right, so we're through again. So I've powered it again. I'm not going to touch it again a second time now. So he's hit it, but he's hit it at the goalkeeper. I don't know what the difference would have been had I hit a time finish perfectly there. I don't know if that would have flown in or not. I do love the corners, though, because you get a good opportunity to get a bicycle kick off here. Let's tap this. Oh, God, I've been blocked off. But yeah, basically the point of impact is when you can, like, so here with Thiago Silva, I can power it. See, that was a late shot because you have to power it quite a lot from that distance. So when the ball's at your feet and you have to power it that much, it's very, very difficult to be able to actually get the time finish off. So I've already powered it with Neymar, and then the defender actually got that one. But I think you guys get the picture, right? So a lot of people are having struggling with like when to use it, how to use it. Don't use this. Don't even use this all the time. Like I've actually been forcing myself to use it in games. Like everything I've been doing has been looking towards the time finishing because I want to master it. But I've already powered with Mbappe. I'm not even going to get close to the ball. You should only use it when the opportunity arises. So it is good to practice it, to get it in your mind, to understand when and how it's important. But there is definitely something to be said for regular shots, finesse shots, and low-driven shots still being super overpowered. And we're going to show you guys a low-driven shot here as well, just so that you know. I did hear as well that you can actually time low-drivens, but I don't think you need to. So we're through here with Mbappe. We're going to get into that typical low-driven angle. There is the low-driven, and it's beautiful again. And obviously, if you have really high shot power, really high finishing, that's going to get lasered in. One of the players I've had the most fun with using a low-driven so far has actually been Harry Kane. He just lasers the ball so hard, it just flies into the back of the net, which is good. And then, of course, you still have the finesse shot, which we'll take a look at here as well, which is still really good shooting opportunity from the edge of the box. And you can, of course, still use time shooting with those two things. Oh, come on, EA. You can, of course, still use time shooting with the low-driven and with the finesse shot. I just don't recommend it. I don't think it's necessary in any way, shape, or form. So we're through here with Cavani. So this is going to be a finesse shot. So I'm going to cut in here. We're going to get into the space here, and then he finesses it around. So a beautiful finish from Cavani because he has good finishing, good positioning. He's got good composure. I assume his curve is quite good. We don't need to time that finish. So don't get super caught up in thinking that time finishing is something that you have to use every shot or you're going to miss out. You can score plenty of goals and a perfect amount of goals without it. The times where time finishing is going to come in handy is going to be when the ball pops off to you, 20 yards out. Let's say, for example, we get the ball here to Cavani. The ball pops out like this. Now, Verratti, bang, time that finish. Wasn't a perfect time finish. Keeper got a save. And, I can even hit it here. Oh, that was a red shot. And then another time finish. And then another time finish. And how about another one? So it pops out. Oh, that was just a regular shot. That's my fault. But you guys get the picture. I've actually, when I played against the AI on Legendary, I found it quite difficult to ever find a time to force a time finish, Wow, I just messed that up massively. I never found the perfect time to force a time finish. It either had to come completely naturally or not at all. And I wonder how that's going to be impacted online when you play against people. Obviously there's going to be... Oh, Mbappe's here. So you can also use it, obviously, off of skill moves. That wasn't the perfectly timed shot, but because Mbappe's got good volleys, got good finishing, got good composure, that one still flies in. Like I say, what you get from a time shot, or what, like Corey says, is you get better accuracy and scoring opportunities. So basically, it makes it more accurate. So all that a mistimed finish means is that it makes it less accurate. So if you've got a player that's still very, very good, they're still potentially going to score some of the badly timed shots because they have such good shooting stats. But I can't imagine that with a great player, you're going to score some time shots. With a bad player, I can't imagine that you're going to score some mistimed shots. At least not often. One thing that I just want to show before we go here, guys, before we end this, is that you can hit big time finishes with any players. If you do hit it perfectly timed, and I'm not saying I'm going to get it perfectly timed here, but what I want to do real quick is I want to go and put Thiago Silva up front. Of course, he's a centre-back. He doesn't have the greatest the greatest shooting. or the greatest volleys or anything of the sorts. And we're going to flip a ball to him real quick right here. And I'm going to show you that even him, even Thiago Silva, can still bang. Has Thiago Silva run up front? Yeah, so he's already run. So he's running through there. I think he's offside, but we power it up. And then he's offside. I was just about to hit it. So, again, you don't have to hit it early. You have to wait. That's the time that you want to push the second time. You want to power it up first and then hit it. And I did hear some rumours that... Thiago Silva's away there again through. So, powered it up and bang. And that actually went in. The goalkeeper might have saved that. I got that on green. That was a perfect timed shot. He was just offside, unfortunately. But you saw how accurate that was. He hit it with his left foot with quite a bit of power and nicely into the bottom corner, which is obviously fantastic. But yeah, so I read somewhere, and I'm yet to confirm or deny this. Maybe we'll talk about this in the comment section. But I read somewhere that here is Thiago Silva. So I want to get a nice little 1-2 on. There he goes. He's through again. I can't get a ball to him that time. Yeah, I read that if you put less power, you will get a finesse timed finish, and more power will be a driven timed finish. Let's whip that one in. That wasn't even a great timed, and there we go. Banging time finish there. I couldn't have asked for something better there. That's why I think time finishing is going to be incredible, because a situation like that where on Thiago Silva's left foot, under pressure, I probably would have missed that. It would have hit the side netting or gone wide. Keeper saves it, and look at that. He gets just around the defender and puts it perfectly home into the back of the net with a really great finish, a striker's finish. And that is simply because I got perfectly timed finishing. If we go to the instant replay here as well, I mean, this could not have been better. Look at the way Thiago Silva finishes this ball. He just wraps that around. Look at the point of impact as well. So the point of impact, on the point of impact, my bar, do you know what? That's not even the best. Like, you can see the little gap in the bar still. So I could have held off for about another 1/10 of a second and I still would have got it better. But that is a perfect shot. Just straight into the top corner. Keeper saves it. Comes out there. Thiago Silva wraps his leg around that one. Fires that one home. I have no doubt in my mind that he would have missed that if it wasn't for a time finish. So that, guys, is how time finishing works, when it works, where it works, and how it works. I will revisit this when the game is fully out so we can show some online gameplay with time finishing and how it's effective and impactful, because playing against the AI offline against this terrible state of players, it doesn't really give you a true feeling. So we're going to have, we're going to have to wait till we get online play, and you'll start to experience and understand more and more the key moments and key points where you can use time finishing, and then the instances where, hey, actually a better option here is just a regular shot, a driven shot, or a finesse shot. But that, guys, for now is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rate, and comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.